way you're gonna hold me down. I said, I'm going gray in Tinseltown.
You're a beast.
There's no way you're gonna hold me down, 'cause I was born to entertain, and
Show them
you
what a
can't
real woman looks
take
like.
that away. I'm going gray all in your face. You can't replace this. It's going down, we're going gray in Tinseltown.
Hi, welcome to Going Gray in Tinseltown. I'm Mandy Mae Cheatham. I can't even say my own name properly. I'm Mandy Mae Cheatham. There's a T in there, guys. TH, like the Thames. People usually see my name and think it says Cheatham, which I guess it does, if that's the way you see things, you know. Well, today's a little short episode. I just wanted to share an essay that I wrote when I was very excited about Marianne Williamson running for Democratic nomination. And, of course, I connected it to my gray hair somehow. You can find this article on Medium if you want to go check it out and subscribe there. You'll be able to get access to my thoughts as they're happening, which is kind of dangerous and scary. Sometimes I even go back and edit them rather than waiting months for the podcast version to come out if you're a reader. Here we go. Going Gray in Tinseltown, the Meltdown. I had a conversation today with a woman I've become friends with on Instagram. She sent me some claps over a Marianne Williamson post I put out about her running for president. I really like this Instagram woman. She posts lovely, honest things, and she's generous and authentic in her messages to me. Being that she's African American, I thought she may want to know that reparations are part of Marianne Williamson's platform. She did not know and was very surprised. It's not for me to get into the details of that conversation because it was private. I will say that I think it's about fucking time, and that for the U.S. to pay reparations to Japan and not to its own citizens is just some next-level bullshit. The point I want to discuss here is how our conversation relates to the mental, spiritual, and emotional exhaustion we all feel in any given moment when we look beyond just managing our own day-to-day lives towards getting involved in changing the world. What is it that makes someone believe they can change the world anyway? What type of upbringing makes a Nelson Mandela, a Ruth Bader Ginsburg, or a Marianne Williamson? Whatever type it is, I'm pretty sure I didn't have it. Who am I to think I can change things enough in Hollywood so women will still be considered viable after 40, or even to stop hair care companies from pimping toxic chemicals that seep into our skin month after month so we can pretend we're cheating death and remaining our perky, fuckable selves? I want to change all of that, but it feels too big for me. My Instagram friend said she's not going to get involved in the process of the Democratic nomination, or maybe even the presidency, until it's time to vote because she doesn't have the energy. Which I translated to mean that her heart is fucking broken and she's not ready to date again. I get it. Except I'm worried that the country needs all the card-carrying Democrats it can get to vote in the Democratic nomination so that they're invested in the person they're going to throw up against the unconscious crew that are currently in office. I'm Canadian. It's easier for me to yell and scream because, while the betrayal exists for me, it doesn't cut as deeply because this is not my country. We have problems of our own. We just happen to be on the pendulum as it's swinging left, but it'll go back. So we're not immune to the disease of unconscious capitalism either. But still, I get it. I've been on a pendulum swinging myself, spending more and more time in the house because this part Wolverine, part skunk look is something to behold, and I don't always have the energy to stand tall with it. I told her I will speak on her behalf until she feels ready because in this moment, I feel tall. That was at about 6 p.m. It's now 10:30 p.m. and I just had an Instagram meltdown because I had to go out and pick up my food from across the street and face the world with my skunk streaks and no Valentine's date and a makeupless face. I wore lipstick, obviously. I'm tired just thinking about it. It was exhausting, not because anyone gave a shit, but because I did. I was walking out like a googly-eyed monster, hissing and waving my claws at people lest they look at me funny, or worse, look right through me. Someone did and bumped into me. It was tragic. The interesting part of aging is that the world does not care that I am becoming invisible. They're not even the ones trying to shove me in the box. It's me doing all the shoving and all the judging. I feel like a dog that's been trained to stand next to a pole with a chain, and now, even though the chain is off, I'm still standing next to that fucking pole, sitting in my own excrement, waiting for my master to come and rub my belly. My mom always used to tell me when I'm on the verge of a meltdown to HALT, halt. Check if I am hungry, angry, lonely, or tired. If I'm any of those things, I should not try to make any decisions or post on social media. At 10:30 p.m., I was all of those things, so I felt like it was a great decision to indulge the little monsters and cry away on my cell phone in bad lighting. My friend, one whom I've met face to face, called me shortly after my double posts. When I saw him calling, I picked it up and said, "I'm okay." He started to laugh. We both laughed for a bit, and then I explained to him why I'm doing this on social media. He didn't ask, but I needed to explain it to myself because I was having some post regret. So here's what I told him. Social media is a snake eating its own tail. It has us all in a Pavlovian cycle of responding when the bell rings. Each time it rings, we are fed a like, a heart, a message, some love. Once we receive that like, heart, message, love, we try to recreate the thing we received the like, heart, message, love for in the first place. The problem is, that is impossible. Yesterday, I looked at my Instagram insights. I never do this. I did it because I'm planning to release a podcast, this one, along with these articles, and experimented with running an ad to see how it works as I plan to use ads to get the message out to potential listeners. I have had a significant 600% increase in my Instagram activity since I started going gray. After I lost the first 200 followers in the first week, those who have stayed and joined are more engaged. Who cares? Well, apparently I do because I started posting pretty pictures of myself again to keep the new followers happy, which should be okay, but it caused a flare-up in my ego. Like an addict who had one shot of gin and now needs to drink a whole bottle. What I explained to my thoughtful, concerned friend is that social media has heightened and blown my relationship with my own image way out of proportion. It has literally trained me to take half-naked, edited, and filtered photos of myself to the point where I am no longer clear as to what I actually look like. The same way Pavlov trained dogs to salivate at the sound of a bell. That is why I am using social media to have my meltdowns. It is literally the cure and the cause of my blues. There's a killer song by Fish Go Deep by that name, by the way, check it out. If I post my blues and my weeping in bad lighting on the very space that rewards me only for glamour shots, I am telling Pavlov to shove his bell up his ass and biting the hand that feeds me. Of course, the next phase of the cycle is to receive all the likes, hearts, messages, and love because of my blues. And then we get to start again. The blues become the new half-naked photo. But I can't help but hope that by being conscious of this snake eating its tail loop, that I will somehow be able to break free from it. I don't think it's about me not using social media because the videos and stories and photos other women have shared have helped me to make this decision to perform this radical act of self-love that is growing out my gray hair. I do think it is imperative that I break this cycle of addictive behavior in myself, my addiction to external validation and drama. Which brings me back to my Instagram friend. I understand where she's coming from. She's tired. We're all tired. When I think about the world and what an uphill climb this is, this being my having the audacity to age in the entertainment industry and not try to hide it, and expect to still be afforded the opportunity to make a living doing what I've spent years of dedicated study and tens of thousands of dollars doing, It feels like a mountain range surrounded by a moat full of alligators, a barbed wire fence, hungry mountain lions, and an easily penetrable border wall that I can fly over in a plane. At least one thing can be overcome. If I want to change the world, I have to focus on the change and not the world. Now, I don't believe that focusing on the change means we can ignore the world. It is important to be informed. We've been asleep for too long, and that is why the fuckity fucks are having their way with us at the moment, but we will make change happen, just like millions of men and women throughout the course of history have stood up in the face of oppression and faced their own role in that oppression and taken responsibility for their roles in that oppression, and even made reparations for their roles in that oppression. No, I do not think we ignore the world. But there is a point when, if I stare at the world for too long, and if I do it unconsciously, it starts to mesmerize and to tell me what it is and what it will always be. And when the entertainment world tells me what it is and what it will always be, you won't work as an actor, you'll look 10 years older, you'll be invisible, etc. I start to believe it because I am at the effect of the world instead of affecting it. I am only focusing on the world. So, it is at that point that I must switch my perspective and focus on the change. Preferably pre-meltdown. But hey, no one here is an enlightened master yet, as Marianne often says. It's not going to help me or anyone else if I run around accusing the world of ignoring me, of seeking out all of the insidious behaviors of those in the entertainment industry and beyond and trying to call them all out on them. What will help me is to hold space for those people who are facing their own fears about aging and know that I too suffer from the same disease. I am just on the road to recovery, and maybe they haven't yet decided to walk through the fire. Who can blame them? They're tired. I'm tired too. But I know that on the other side of this fire is peace. I know it because I've walked through other fires. And each time it gets easier and even funnier because I have a little bit more humility about it. I think it may be a long road, but I'm willing to walk it because I believe I can change my experience of the world by taking ownership of my perspective of it. I said that to my phone call friend tonight too. I have two choices. Walk through the fire, face my face and everything else as it ages, or stuff myself with my addiction to the belief I have some control over what is inevitably going to happen in my life. Aging. Death. Taxes. Like I can stave off aging if I just keep dyeing my hair. I can't choose the unconscious path unless I cover it with alcohol or drugs or sex or Botox or Instagram. Wait, what? It would be so nice, though, to be unconscious, but we no longer have the luxury of that given the current state of the world. So I've chosen to walk through the fire. I've chosen it for myself as an act of love. And I know that love will spread because my choice will inspire the other men and women that listen to this podcast to face their faces and love their hair. And that it will be a little bit easier for them because love spreads faster than fire. To answer my earlier question about how someone becomes a world changer, I have come back to Marianne Williamson. Hero worship much? Twice today, Marianne Williamson's paragraph from her book, A Return to Love, life changer, guys, seriously, read it, or you can even listen to it on YouTube for free, has been mentioned to me, so I will quote it here from you. Goes to find link. Oh, funny. As I was looking for the "Who am I to be brilliant" quote, I found this other quote from the book instead. She says, "It takes courage to endure the sharp pains of self-discovery rather than choose to take the dull pain of unconsciousness that would last the rest of our lives." Courage. I have that. So do you for reading this post, for listening to this podcast. So does my Instagram friend because she sent me the claps. Not the clap. The claps on Medium. So does my phone friend because he called me at midnight. It takes balls to call, y'all. Every time you do something that makes you uncomfortable, you make that courage muscle stronger. Every time I post unflattering images of myself, I make that courage muscle stronger. And someday I'm going to be so strong that not even Instagram can affect my sense of self. And I will be so strong that I can lift others simply by holding space for them to shine their light onto the room and see them for their beautiful, authentic selves, the way I want to be seen. That's the person I aspire to be. A world changer. Because courage eradicates tired. That's the change. So be the change. Much love. Here's the actual quote from Return to Love that I was looking for. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others.
You're gonna hold me down. I said, I'm going gray in Tinseltown. There's no way you're gonna hold me down, 'cause I was born to entertain. And you can't take that away. I'm going gray all in your face. You can't replace this. It's going down, we're going gray in Tinseltown.